Yeah, I'm supporting Clinton.
Why not him?
I'm supporting Clinton because I want to see a Democrat in the White House in 2017. And because I'm not a socialist, and I think a lot of the policy stuff is pie in the sky. This is obviously more to cover than we're going to be able to talk about with any kind of detail in this one conversation, which is already halfway along. But I'm for Clinton over Sanders for a number of reasons. First of all, I think she's more qualified to be president of the United States than anybody in either party who's running right now. I think she's got more than a quarter of a century of experience at the top of government. I think she's an easy target. What did Carly Fiorina say? Mrs. Clinton, air travel is not an accomplishment, it's an activity. The
Hmm.
woman was Secretary of State of the United States of America. Okay, Benghazi, she screwed up. The Russian reset didn't work out the way we planned. Yes, you can criticize her tenure as Secretary of State. My reading of it, I'm no, foreign policy guru, is she did a competent or more than competent job in representing this country as Secretary of State. Was she perfect? No. Was she an absolute disaster? Not in my opinion. She did a pretty good job, and she reported to somebody who is where the buck stops. His name is Barack Hussein Obama, and he's the president of the United States. You want to blame the screw up with the Russians ending up in Syria and the Middle East? You blame Barack Hussein Obama. You want to blame taking out Gaddafi? You blame Barack Hussein Obama at the end of the day. Okay, and you blame Hillary Clinton too. But still, I give her decent passing grades as Secretary of State. She was a senator from New York. She represented the state of New York. She got herself elected to the United States Senate. She was the chief advisor and counselor for 8 years to the most powerful person on the planet. That would have been her husband, Bill Clinton. She is super smart. She's seasoned. She's tough. Okay? She's qualified to be president, vastly more qualified and prepared for the office than was Barack Hussein Obama when he assumed the office in 2009. So she's the best candidate. She is a woman, and that matters to me. In my humble opinion, the revolutionary implication of having a woman as the chief operating officer, the chief political officer, the chief military officer of this country is greater than is the symbolic and revolutionary significance of having an African American occupy that office. I know that can be argued. I just stated my opinion. She's earned it. She has paid her dues, okay? And on the other side, I say of Bernie Sanders, who's a good and decent man and has a vision. He has a dream. Imagine. You remember that John Lennon song, imagine that there was no war, imagine that there was no poverty. People say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Can't we envision a better world? That's what he's trying to do. I'm not against that. I'm for prophecy. I just don't see it winning in the ballot box, okay? And I'm against socialism, okay? Now, I know people are going to get mad at me for that, too. I'm an economist, for crying out loud. We study the way markets work, how the price system is the best way of allocating resources, and so forth and so on. Central planning is dead. People are going to say I'm throwing around labels and canards and whatnot. No, I'm not. There is no free lunch. You declare free stuff. It's not free. Somebody pays. It's just that the price is hidden from the person who's consuming the service. $15 an hour minimum wage. It's a bad idea, in my opinion. Okay, there, I said it again. Now, you want to get mad at me out there in Blogging Heads Land? You can get mad at me. $15 an hour minimum wage prices my people, unskilled, urban African Americans who didn't finish high school and can barely write the English language, out of the labor market. It cuts the bottom rungs of the ladder off for those people. I don't think it's a very good idea. You want to help them? Give them some money. Increase the earned income tax credit, but don't make their labor so expensive that nobody wants to take a chance on having them clean up the stock room and sweep up and put the stuff on the shelf. They need to get a toehold into the economy. Employment is the absolutely most important first step to stabilizing a young person's life. Easy to say if you're the second or third breadwinner in a household who's going out to a job and your hours are going to get cut back by 10%. But if you're a kid who's not going to get a second look because $15 an hour plus your health care means that it's not worth it to give you a second look, you just had your opportunities cut out. So the banks, yes, there does need to be stricter regulation. Breaking them up, turning over the finance, I've said this here on Blogging Heads before in a conversation with Harold Pollack, turning over the goose that's laying the golden eggs of a global financial industry concentrated in New York City, generating huge amounts of economic activity for Americans and placing us at the center of international economic affairs. Turning that industry over to the socialist regulator Bernard Sanders is a nightmare in my mind. I don't think it's good for America. That's not protecting these guys' profits. You want to take their wealth? Pass a law and take their wealth. But don't break up all the banks and put taxes on all the transactions and muck around with, like I say, a goose that I think is, to a certain degree, for the American economy, laying a golden egg. Now, it's true. I'm a professional economist. I'm a neoliberal. I know Lawrence Summers. Lawrence Summers is a friend of mine. I don't agree with everything he says, but he's a very, very smart economist. So I'm not moved by the socialist catechism. So there's a positive. I think Hillary Clinton's the best person for the job, and there's a negative. I don't think Bernard Sanders can win, and I wouldn't want him to win at some level. I mean, if he's running against Donald Trump, I'll vote for Bernard Sanders, but I wouldn't want his policies to actually be implemented because I think they may do more damage than good, actually.